which is called BNB. And BNB is, so now let's look at, so let's go to Coin Market Cap. This is, so this is Coin Market Cap. Can you guys see this? So we know number one is Bitcoin, number two is Ethereum, right? So those two are top dog, right? But look at number three. Number three is BNB. BNB is, so BNB is to Binance what Tuition Coin would be to Intuition Exchange. So they created their own exchange to compete with Coinbase, and they created their own coin, and their own coin is listed on the Binance exchange. You get it? So Coinbase went and created their own coin. So this right here is Coinbase coin, and it's number 6. But Binance coin is number 3. Why? Because they have the exchange. Everybody comes to Binance to purchase Bitcoin, Ethereum, any cryptocurrency. Binance is like, anybody could list their coin on Binance pretty much there. So remember how I said Coinbase got like those 10, and they're real strict on who they let come on their main exchange. Binance is more like, everybody come on over. Anybody got a coin? Bring it to Binance, right? And they're not from America. They're not based in America. So because they're not based in America, they're not faced with all the regulations and all the rules that America have. Whereas Coinbase is based in America. So it has to follow some really, really tight guidelines. Whereas Binance is operating outside of those guidelines. So Binance has a larger audience overall. But Coinbase has the most valuable customers, if you will, because Americans are, we're the wealthiest people in the world. So they're number one in the United States. So the numbers are smaller, but the per capita value of each customer on Coinbase obviously is a whole lot higher on Coinbase than on Binance. But I'm mentioning all of this because so Binance has this huge exchange. Everybody comes to Binance to purchase cryptocurrency, just cryptocurrency in general, right? So imagine if you have a supermarket and all of the different food items are the different brands, right? And so you don't own a food brand. You just own a big warehouse building with a bunch of shelves, and you slap a name on it called supermarket, and then Nabisco comes and Procter & Gamble comes and all of the different brands, and they bring their brands, their products into this place called the supermarket. The supermarket would be the exchange, right? And the brands, the products would be the coins, right? And let's say now, let's use Winko, right? So you got Winko. And so if Winko is Binance or Winko is Coinbase, it's this huge supermarket, and you got all these different companies bringing their products inside the supermarket, right? So now everybody is coming to Winko to buy their favorite brands. You can go food shopping and buy all the stuff they want. After a while, Winko gets smart and they say, you know what? Why don't we make our own brands, right? We make our own brands. So now you've got Winko dishwasher, you got Winko, syrup. They got their own brands, right? That's exactly what Binance did. Because they attracted so many people, they made their own stuff and they put it right at the front. They put it right at the front. So when they lowered the price. They made it a little lower than all, and they're literally stealing customers from all these other brands. That's exactly what you do when you have a big exchange. You create your own coin and you say, hey, would you like to buy my coin? Every customer that comes to your exchange, and say, hey, you should buy my coin. My coin is the best, right? So That's what we're doing. We have all these customers, right, called students, that are earning digital currency, right? And we're saying, hey, one day you're going to be purchasing your own digital currency, right? Because I believe digital currency is absolutely the future. Everything will be digital. So we have all these customers, and we're saying, hey, you're going to need an exchange, and we'll be that exchange for you. And while you're here, you should buy Tuition Coin, but not just Tuition Coin, right? Like I said, Justin Coin or whatever. I don't know if you're familiar with NFTs, but it's like the music industry is moving completely towards where individuals will be their own distribution model. It's like they're going to be their own distributor, if you will, and your followers will purchase NFTs, or basically you're gonna share your revenue with your fans, and together your fans now become your distribution model. It's like the whole world is changing right now through digital currency, and as an exchange, we will be able to decide which coins or which NFTs get front row, is in front of everybody. I'm saying all this to say that the exchange is a big deal. It's a really, really, really big deal. And
So you have a full-time staff of how many people running the exchange?
that's a good question. It's right now building it. Everybody that's building it is 11 people, which I'm gonna actually show you next. You're gonna actually see them working live on it.
Are they working full-time on this?
Yeah, yeah.
50,000 covers that?
Say it again.
50,000 covers that?
Yeah, in India, money goes up.
Oh my
So let me show you guys
Man.
next. Now, wait, let me go through this really quick. So just one more thing, I gotta show you this, and then I'm gonna show you them. Actually
This is
working on
exciting.
Yeah, but the exchange part, I thought we were not gonna be able to do the exchange for another year, and
That's why you haven't mentioned it.
yeah, that's what, because it's and it gets a little complicated, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's I had to baby step people into this,
Right.
So if I would have just came straight out and talked about the exchange, I would have lost people. I'd have lost them completely. But this was always the plan. This
I'm sure
was
Jonathan
always
gave you that advice too, huh? Or he doesn't know much about it yet.
No, he does. But yeah, I mean, he gave me that same advice in a different way. But it's that wisdom is the same. It's like you can't. People can only handle but so much, right? So you got to give it little bit. But this was always the oh wait, I'm in the wrong place. That's why. So just one more thing I wanted to show you guys. So this is called staking, and this is very powerful because staking, like when you like a stake in the ground, when you stake a claim to something. And so what this allows is it's just so powerful. So when you put your money in the bank take that money and they invest it, right? They give mortgages, they invest in their own friends' projects. They do stuff with that money basically, and then they give you a little bit of the interest, right? Now, if the bank is brand new, I mean, it just opened up, and they bring in, they do a big marketing campaign, and all together, the people in that community, through direct deposit, savings and so forth, equals $10 million, right? This is all of their savings of that community, right? So they take this $10 million and they go and invest it, right? And let's say they invested in some big commercial project, some big building or something, that's going to make a lot of money, but things don't go quite as they thought it would, right? So there's no money to pay interest, right? Because the project didn't go as well as they thought it did, right? So now think of the whole banking system as a whole, right? Doing that very thing. People invest their money in the banks, and the bank invests that money. They don't invest their money in the bank. They put it there to manage their money, to hold their money, right? savings, whatever. But the banks invest it. But if they make bad investments, there's nothing to give. So you think about your interest rate. I don't know if you guys looked at your interest rate on your money, but in the regular banking system, it's nothing. It's like 0.00 something cents. It's like, that's almost criminal, because inflation is at 5%. If inflation is at 5% and you're only earning 0.00 something on your money, that means your money in the bank is actually losing value each and every single year. That might not seem like a big deal when you're just getting direct deposit, but when it's 100,000, when it's 200,000, when it's 1 million, when it's 10 million, that's a big deal. If you're losing 4% of your money every year, that's huge. So in the world of cryptocurrency, it's completely different. It's like when you invest your money, so this is like putting your money in the bank. So when a person stake, so they would put let's say Ethereum, when they stake it on our platform, they're gonna get our coin, right? Tuition coin. We pay them in dividends in tuition coin, right? What they're doing is they're providing liquidity for us, and liquidity is huge. You need liquidity. If you're going to have an exchange, you need liquidity, because people need to be able to come in and out of trades real fast. So we need to have a lot of money in our system, if you will. And so when people put money in our system, we're saying, okay, we're holding your money or your Ethereum, your Bitcoin. We're going to hold it in our system, because this now allows us to do a lot of trades, right? We have liquidity. And because of that, we're making money. We're making transaction fees. We're going to share some of that money with you. It's the same thing that banks do. But what banks do is they go and invest it in real estate. They invest it when they give a loan for a new business. And those investments are risky by nature. And as time goes on, the return on those you putting your money in the bank has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller, to the point now where it's negligible, right? Where it's so small, 0.00 something, right? But in the world of cryptocurrency, the returns are huge. I'm talking 8% is like small. People are getting 20%, 40%, even up to 100% by just holding their money in these different cryptocurrency projects. So staking is powerful. It's called DeFi, and it's just taking off. So anyway, the point is, on our exchange, people are going to be able to do that. So LP stands for liquidity providers, right? So it's that's what they're doing. They become liquidity providers, and by providing liquidity, they're getting a return. Okay, so that's what that's all about. All right, that's just basically the thing. So that's the exchange part. Now let's go into.
Your developers have to be really finance savvy to put this whole thing together. So the whole team is finance savvy.
That's what they do. This is what they do.
These are finance grads and
so
developers.
In India, a computer developer is like a McDonald's worker. Yeah, that's what they do. Like, so computer science is math, right? You gotta be really good at math, and the sciences and so forth. They are so far ahead of us. It's shameful. I mean, when they were putting the curriculum together, he said, Joshua, when we look at the American curriculum, he said, in America, you guys will have one textbook, and that textbook will have, it'll whole chapters on one topic, and you'll spend your whole 2 or 3 years in one textbook. He said in India, we go through several books in 1 year. Several books. They are just so far ahead of us. They're way ahead of us. What America has, we have an infrastructure. We have an infrastructure. We have a powerful army where we get to control the resources of the world. So we take it for granted, but we have it really good. But if you were to put an Indian child versus an American child, they run circles around them. They run circles around them. So so like I said, yeah, developers in India, they're a dime a dozen. They're so common, and yeah. So these guys they're amazing. They are amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this exchange will take off when, or when do you plan on executing it?
I told them that we need everything by March, so they're working really fast on it. And like I said, so I separated it. So I have a design team. Usually everything is done in one house, but developers are not necessarily great designers. It's just the way it is, right? Because they're so bent on getting the project done that they don't focus as much on design. So I wanted a set of people who that's all they do is design. That's their specialty. Design. So I got to design one step ahead of the developers. So they design it and then they give it to the developers, which is what I'm going to show you right now.
Oh my gosh, from data mining company to your own Bitcoin to non-exchange. This is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And so all of this, what's interesting is all of this is behind the scenes. So on the surface, it's kids are, taking assessments, watching educational videos, showing up to school, getting coins for attendance. That's on the surface. But then behind it, underneath it, is all the power, is all of the, and what makes us different from other cryptocurrency companies is they go straight for the power. They go straight for the cryptocurrency aspect of it, right? And they try to make a killing in the world of cryptocurrency. We were to go to CoinMarketCap and look at all the different projects, and you go to their websites, it's cryptocurrency. The world is not fully ready for cryptocurrency. They don't understand it, right? But they do understand going to college. They do understand that college is expensive. They do understand about scholarships. And yeah, I want to earn a scholarship. Well, in order to earn a scholarship, you got to be smart. Okay, well, how do I get smart? Well, you can use the tools on our platform to get smart. And when you use the tools on our platform to get smart, we'll give you some coins. And as you get smarter, we'll give you more coins. And that's the way scholarships work, right? You get scholarships because you're smart. So we're providing you with the tools to get smart, to get scholarships. We're just calling them scholarship coins. But underneath it is all of this cryptocurrency stuff. You don't need to know about all of that, but you will as you get older. You will. And so we're building all of this. Like, they say that an iceberg, you only see like 90% of it is underground. That you don't see. That's this. That's what we're. All of this is it's the iceberg underneath the water. So these are the guys that are working on it, and you're probably going to see him in just a little while. You're going to see stuff moving all around. This is them working on it in real time. So this is the design team. So they're the ones.
This is in real time right now, you said?
Yeah.
Wow.
So these are the different things that they're working on. Excuse me. So remember how I was saying that on the development side, there's when we take for granted, like if I was to go back to Coinbase, for example, right? Let's go back to. So when we go to Coinbase, right? Right, so we're here on Coinbase, pretty simple page, right? But every single thing you click on, right? Every single thing you click on, it takes you to another page, right? And so you go here, it takes you to this page, and it's like, and you could just keep going on and on and on. There's so much pages, right? We don't realize just how much a website, how much work goes behind the scenes, right? But every little button takes you somewhere else, right? This is a lot of stuff, right? And then every single thing you click on takes you to another place, and takes you to another place, and takes you to another place, and another place, and another place, and another place, and another place, right? And we just take it for granted. Like all of this stuff, all these buttons, all of this has to be designed, right? All of this, right? And on any given page, there's like 100 different places that you could click on that will take you somewhere else. See, I found one place that's doesn't look right. Okay. Interesting. You see, this is what you did. I don't think this was supposed to happen, right? So it's like, you got to catch those things, right? Because you don't want that to happen, right? So when we go here now, that's what this is, right? So they're literally, so there he goes. So you see that guy? He's like literally working on it right now. And what he's doing right now, let me show you. Let's try to see what he's doing, right? So this is...
Can he see you observing him?
I don't think so. Right? So he has to make sure that when you like click something here, what happens next, right? And so you click this. So by the time you see this guy next week, this will be like so many pages. It'll be like all of those pages that he was just clicking from here, clicking from there, clicking from there, and going here, and going there, and going. So that's what he's doing. He's building out all of those pages. And every little button, when you click it, where does it go next? So in about 2 weeks, you're going to see all these lines. They're going to be drawn from, let me see if I could find one.
And they've been pretty good meeting deadlines, huh?
Oh yeah, these guys are moving so fast. And that's why I separated them. I separated design from development, because the developers, they're just doing code. They're doing code, right? So it's like when this happens, that happens. And when you press this button, it goes here. They build that stuff under the hood. They don't really care what it looks like. They're more excited about, does it work, right? And that's why you see engineers, like you see like they have those robot competitions where they got this robot and it's like, that thing looks weird, but it's so amazing. They do all these amazing things. They don't think design. They're engineers. Engineers just, it's like, does it work, right? The designers, that's what made Steve Jobs so amazing, is because he had this design first model, right? That's why everything, the Apple whole ecosystem is based on how things look, how does it feel, and the user experience. So that's why I separated the teams, and I was like, no, I want you guys to focus on design and user experience, and you tell the developers what it should look like, and they will build it.
Are they all in the same company?
No, it's two different companies.
Really?
Yeah. So the designers are in-house. These guys, they're like literally part of the Coins for College family. But the developers are so fast. We're literally having to tell them, hey, stop, pump the brakes, and get ahead of them, because they're moving so fast. And their attitude, like, we can do the design. And we're like, no, that's okay. We don't want you to do the design, we want to do the design. So that's what's going on. So that's what these guys are doing now. So that's him moving. Like I said, every little thing connects to something else. So that's what they're working on. So this is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's why they let you scroll in and out like that, because it literally it becomes like hundreds of pages.
So I imagine
Just one website.
they interface quite a bit, the two different groups,
Oh yeah, they have to
constantly.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, and but they, if you don't stop them, they will just keep going. The developers, they will, because they reach milestones. So the first payment was $20,000 deposit to get started, and once they hit their first milestone, for their first milestone, which is, I think, the end of January, they have to have certain percentage of the whole website completed. And if it is completed, then you pay them the next installment, and then that's 15,000, and then they, you know, do a certain amount more.
Imagine these types of this minuscule amount of money is running families. I mean, these guys are supporting families.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds even cheaper than Turkey, where I came from, where I
Yeah.
went.
Yeah. So they make a good developer. I'm talking about a good one. Like, this is like you've arrived. Makes $1,200 a month. Yeah, that's like, you're good. The average one probably makes more like 800 a month. Yeah. And they do fantastic work. They do work better. They do work much better than Americans. Americans are good with design, very good with design, and because it's our culture, right? We're good with design. We're good with managing, but the actual development, that's the grind work. Like, you see this guy, what he's doing right now? You see him moving around? Like, watch, right? So he, all day long, he's doing this, right? It's so particular what he's doing. Like, you see where it says subject? It can't be off even by a little bit, like just by one little point. Like, you see where it says years of experience?
Mm-hmm.
If it was one space over, it would not be accurate, if you will. And they got to put all of that stuff in, little by little by little, everything, the color of the button, the size of the button, the very shade of it, right? Like, when you click on it, it should do something, right? All of that they're doing is so particular, right? It's so particular. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that, you know? We want the fancy jobs. We don't want the, you know.
So round 0 now, and round 1 starts in April.
Yeah.
And when you say you're going public in September, you're going public on your own exchange.
Yeah.
And-
But now we could go earlier.
Oh.
Well, that's actually what I didn't show you. So an ICO is where when you do an ICO, the way we're doing it now with Ground Zero is anyone who invests in Coins for College, what they're really investing in the company that's building this. That's what they're doing, right? They're investing in the people that is building something. Everybody else that comes in when it goes public, they're investing in what has already been built, right? They're investing in the coin itself, right? And the utility of it all, right? So those people, when they come in, they're going to have an actual wallet, a digital wallet that holds their coins that they buy, and they're going to see the value of their coins go up and down, right? And that's what they expect. The people who came in early, they're saying, we're the owners. We're the ones that are building this whole thing. And so everybody else who comes in after us, we're benefiting from all the money that comes in afterwards, right? We're benefiting from it because we built it, and we should, right? Because we're the ones that built it. So when we have our own exchange, they're literally just buying the token. They're like BNB for Binance. Your BNB powers the whole Binance system. Is why Binance Exchange is doing so well. It's like a self-sustaining system. It's like the exchange helps give the token exposure, but the token helps drive the value. So it just becomes this perfect system. And that's what we're doing, right? So we're going to have the exchange, but then we have Tuition Coin. And as the value of Tuition Coin increase from, hundreds of millions to billions, it's feeding the exchange, but the exchange is also bringing in more people, giving them access to Tuition Coin. And it just becomes this nice, like I said, this self-sustaining system, if you will. And that's what we're trying to create. So when we do list the sooner that we have the exchange, the better, because now it's not me doing presentations in someone's living room. It's just the world. Anyone can just go and purchase Tuition Coin on an exchange, and that's gonna be powerful. That's we've arrived. That's the place.
And the education part of it, of educating these investors, the students, the teachers, that to me seems the most daunting task.
Yes and no, because it's that initial getting it out there. But once it get out there and it works, when something works, it works, right? It's like word of mouth. It takes off like wildfire. So we just need that initial spark, and we're doing so much to make that happen. The whole system is designed in such a way where the teachers are our evangelists, right? So think about the teachers, right? So you have a teacher. What is their desire? It's usually altruistic by nature, in that they want to help their children succeed. That's their heart's desire. They want to see little Johnny make it, right? And anyone that provides resources to a teacher to help their students is a friend of that teacher. Teachers love free websites, stuff that gives them free resources, like Khan Academy. Khan Academy is huge. Khan Academy has raised billions of dollars. What is Khan Academy? It's a guy from India that got on his computer and started teaching kids how to do math. That's all Khan Academy started out. It's just giving free videos, right? But it was doing it in a time and space where that wasn't available. You had to hire a tutor, or you had to pay some big company that would give you access to those kind of videos. And Khan, his name was Sal Khan, he just jumped on YouTube and he just started making these videos. And he used a little technology, right? It was like digital, and it became huge. And now it's like in every school, it's all over the world. It's huge. And teachers love it because why? It was free and it helped their students do better in math. Now he does every subject. But that's what we're doing. We're providing free resources to teachers to give to their students. But we add a little twist to it. In the process, teachers are earning tuition coins. Teachers are the only ones who get tuition coins for free. Everybody else has to pay for it. They get it for free. Why? Because they're the ones that are helping the students. And as they help the students through our platform, that's how you mine tuition coins. Every cryptocurrency project has a mining system in place. Mining is just simply, how do you bring those coins from nothing into the real world, right? So Binance, they have something like 45 billion coins. Where did those coins come from? And why do they have value, right? Why do a BNB, a Bitcoin, right? There's, I think, like 18 million Bitcoins in existence right now. And each one of those Bitcoins is worth $43,000. Each one. $43,000. But what is a Bitcoin? It's not like a quarter. You can take out your pocket and here's a quarter. You don't see a Bitcoin, right? So what is a Bitcoin and why is there 18 million of them, right? It's because you have these people called miners. And the miners do some kind of work. And when they do that work, that's when a Bitcoin is birthed. It comes into existence through the work that miner does. So miner does the work and he gets a Bitcoin. Now the market says that each Bitcoin is worth $43,000. So you could say that for the work that miner did, he just made $43,000, right? And he could hold on to it and it will continue to increase in value, or he could sell it, right? And if he sells it, 43,000 cash in his pocket, right? If you want a Bitcoin, or if Justin wants a Bitcoin, I want a Bitcoin, John wants a Bitcoin, we have to pay $43,000. But what did the Bitcoin miner do? He didn't pay $43,000. He did something. He did some kind of work. They call it proof of work, right? And that's how he got his Bitcoin, right? So you could say that the Bitcoin miners, you could classify them as two types of people. One, you could say that they are the ones who benefit the most from the increase in value naturally, right? Because if they did this work and a Bitcoin was only worth $1.
Give an example of the type of work.
Okay, so this is the work. So now this looks different for every cryptocurrency project.
Is every one of them tied to a utility or no?
No, but in a perfect world, yes. But the real answer is no, right? And that's how cryptocurrency morphed into something else. But Bitcoin was the first. So they were the model for every other cryptocurrency that came afterwards, right? If it wasn't for Bitcoin, you couldn't have all of the other mutations. So they set the standard. And when you think about it, it's kind of crazy, right? Like, how could something that is just digital in nature, it's just digital in nature, it don't even exist in the real world, it's abstract, how could it be worth $43,000 each, right? And a market capitalization of $1 trillion. Like, how is that possible, right? With gold, it's a physical thing that you mine. You go you mine it, you got physical gold, and the market is willing to pay a price for it, right? That's understandable. So you got the guys who put their mining gear on and they got their tool picks and they're digging in the ore of a mountain, and gold comes out, right? That proof of work is aching muscles, right? It's dirt on your face, right? And that stuff that you brought out of the earth. But where Bitcoin is concerned, there's no mountain that you go and you dig into. It's digital, right? So the work that is done is that in order for Bitcoin to go from the world of nothing, that abstract world, into the real world, is this computation, right? So it's like, okay, in order for my computer to run a program, there's microprocessors on the inside, right? And some programs like, like Final Cut, right? Or when you're doing video editing, oh man, it takes up so much power that I couldn't do it on this computer. This computer is useless to do video editing. I need a stronger computer, right? So the stronger computer has stronger processing power. And that processing power, because it's greater processing power, is going to cost more money. So do you have a MacBook, bro?
No.
Okay. So what do you use? You PC?
PC.
Wow, surprise. I'm shocked. you're not interested, or it was just
I keep my iPhone as my only Apple tool.
Okay.
And iPad, but I've always been a PC guy.
okay. All right. But you want to see the concept clearly. I know you do. Versus a good computer and a cheap computer. A good computer, more processing power. It can do more computations. So, in order for you to bring a Bitcoin into the real world, right, where it actually exists, you have to do this massive computation power. Massive computations, rather, that requires a lot of power. So much power that it literally uses an enormous amount of electricity. In the computer, like, this computer is absolutely useless. Even my computer at home, my desktop computer, which is a very expensive computer, it can't do it. You need these really expensive computers that has extreme massive processors that takes a lot of electricity, and it's running, and I mean the heat from it alone is like, it could like warm an entire building just from the computation power. And so the electricity alone and the computation power alone that it takes to create a Bitcoin is probably, I don't know what the exact cost is, but it's up there. It's a couple of $1,000s, probably more than that. So so there is work tied to the value, right? And Bitcoin being the front runner, that had to exist, right? Because that makes sense, right? It's like, you get nothing. You get what you pay for, right? That whole concept, nothing comes from nothing. So Bitcoin forging the way into this whole new world of digital currency, that model made sense. But now let's leave the world of Bitcoin for just a second, and let's go to, now we could talk many different cryptocurrency projects because they all have their own mining. How do you create value out of thin air? They all have their own system. It looks different for every single cryptocurrency project. In the world of Coins for College, what is the value that is being created? What is the value that would allow a tuition coin to come into existence? And for us, it's assessments, right? So assessments by itself, apart from Coins for College platform, the industry, assessments, is a multi-billion-dollar industry. You have a teacher who writes a question for an assessment company, and they get paid money for doing that, right? And it's a huge industry. It's like it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Every question that every student take on every single test, from the time they're in kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade, all the way up to taking the SAT, the GRT, the ACT, all of those assessments, they're made of questions, right? And as you answer those questions, you get it right or wrong. They're able to determine where you are, and they rank you, and that's how you get scholarships, and on and on and on, right? You got your state test and all of that, right? You remember when they were growing up in school, even when you were going in school, you took these different tests. All of that is the assessment industry. And behind it is a school teacher. It's who writes assessments. That's what they do. And they get paid for it. Either as a teacher, working for a school district, right? Preparing quizzes and tests for their students, or as a side hustle, where they write tests for the companies that provide those tests to the schools, right? It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So what we're doing is we're coming and saying, okay, that work that's being done for compensation, we're bringing it onto our platform, and instead of compensating you with cash, we're compensating you with tuition coins. And then those very tuition coins are being used to help students go to college. And that's how we're tying in the nonprofits, right? Or tax-free donations. So as philanthropists and corporations give scholarships, which they do already, to nonprofits for students, we're saying, okay, you can continue to do that, only do it through tuition coins, right? So tuition coins, for all intents and purposes, are scholarships that pays for college. And as philanthropists and corporations give scholarships to students, and as they do that, it's a tax write-off, tax-free donation that they do, right? So they get their tax-free donation, kids get the scholarships, but by doing it through the Coins for College platform, it finances the creation of tuition coins. So remember so you got work that's being done, but money has to come into the system to pay those. So your teacher, she creates a tuition coin, right? If there was no value for that tuition coin, then why would the teacher do the work? Like if Bitcoin was worth zero, no one would go and do all that computation power with their expensive computer that they bought and do all that work to get a Bitcoin that was worthless. The Bitcoin has to be worth something, right? And right now it's $43,000. Why is it $43,000? Because people are buying it. Investors, supply and demand. As people buy it, and they're buying it for speculation reasons, right? They buying it because they believe the price will go up, the value will go up. And it has. It has done very well, right? The value of Bitcoin went from 0.0001 to $43,000, or 600,000 times return, right? And so the miners, the people who creating these Bitcoins, they're so rich, right? Because as they create them, people are buying them. As they create them, people are buying them. The more people buy it, the more the value goes up. So now let's go back to tuition coin. The more people buy tuition coin, the more the value goes up. The more people buy tuition coin, the more value goes up. So you got teachers that are creating these tuition coins, and the value is going up. The value is going up. Why? Because people are buying them. Who's buying them? Why is the value going up? Who's buying them? Philanthropists, corporations, right? Why are they buying them? To do what they're already doing. What? Giving scholarships to students. But in the process, they're getting a tax write-off. See, when you buy Bitcoin, you don't get a tax write-off. When you buy Bitcoin, you're buying it just for speculative reasons, because you hope the price will go up. When you buy tuition coins, you're buying it for two reasons. You got people who are buying it just like Bitcoin. They hope the value go up. But you have this whole other group of people that are buying it for tax purposes. They want a tax write-off, and they want to do good. They want to help kids go to college, right? Because they could give their money to anywhere. They could give it to hospitals. They could give it to, human trafficking. They can give their money anywhere they want, right? It's still a tax write-off. If you're giving it to a nonprofit, it's a tax write-off. You give your money wherever you want. But what is the number one cause that people give money to? Education, scholarships, educating students. And we're saying, yes, you can do that. Purchase tuition coins. And when you purchase tuition coins, it will pay for these kids' college. But at the same time, it's helping teachers who are helping students. So it's a more holistic approach. And that's what we've created. That's the system.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's freaking exciting.
It is.
Oh my gosh. So next step, you said they'll be done in March for the phase 2.
Yeah.
And
no, March, they're supposed to be done with everything.
Everything.
It's supposed to be done with everything in March.
So you might get the exchange running by then?
That's the plan. That's
Holy
the hope. We probably. I don't know if we're gonna release it. This is exciting for me. I literally.
So you want to reach round 2 in March.
No. We're gonna stage it, right? Because
All right.
so I don't know. The truth is, Eddie, I don't know. Everything has changed because
It's picking up steam this quick.
because it's pick up steam. Thanks to you, praise God. We were able to get all of this going, and it's really exciting. These guys are moving so fast.
Oh my gosh!
These guys are.
I'm so honored that you came here to explain all this.
Yeah, I feel like we're like a year ahead of schedule, and this is so for the big picture, and so it just opened up more
A
opportunities.
year ahead of schedule. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh!
Yeah, so it just has opened up
Oh,
so many opportunities for us. Like, so we were gonna only do the students platform at first. That's what we were gonna do, and we were gonna worry about the exchange later because it was so expensive and so complicated. And but technology, it's like, I mean, technology, you think about it, like this little computer right here, right? The computation power that this computer used to do back in our days was like, it would take up a whole room, you know? So technology has just moved that fast. From the moment that I first tried to build an exchange to now, it's night and day difference. It's just technology has just moved. That was about 2.5 years ago. It's a different world. It's a different world. And so the race is not so much technology. The race is users. You know, when Facebook launched, it was like an instant success, right? They overtook MySpace. You don't know what MySpace is. You know what
I know
MySpace
what
is?
MySpace is.
You know, you do?
I know what MySpace
Okay.
is.
I just
yeah, I remember when they first
How old are
came
you?
out.
31.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And then MySpace sold for 500 million, whatever, and then they went belly flop.
And then it belly flop. Yeah. But Facebook, but then Google, which was so much bigger than Facebook. Facebook was nothing. Google was already a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Google tried to buy Facebook. Facebook said, "Screw you." So Facebook said, "All right." I mean, Google said, "No problem. We're going to create our own," and they created their own social network called
Google Plus.
Google Plus. Yeah, and you know, they had more money, more developers, more reach, more everything, but they couldn't take off. They couldn't get off the ground, right? Why? Because Facebook already had the users. People were already established. I tried to use Google Plus. Technology-wise, I liked it. You had Google Meet built into it. It was pretty awesome. It had everything Facebook had, but better. It was different features, and you know, and it's a learning curve, of course. But you know, I was really into tech stuff, so I understood. I said, this is way better, but it never took off. You know why? Because it didn't have the users. Facebook started in schools. They went to college. It was I think it was Harvard at first. They did there, and they hacked the Harvard system, and they put all of Harvard users onto their platform with their pictures, and they started using it. People started using it and talk to each other and look at each other's pictures and all that kind of stuff. And then they went to another school, and then another school. They went to all the Ivy League schools, and then they opened it up to all the other colleges. And then they released it to the world. Why did they do that? The reason they did that was because the college is community, right? It's people, they have something in common. That particular college, right? So they have a common bond. This community. It's like when you logged on to Facebook, you go, "Oh yeah, I know him. He's in my science class, and he's in my chemistry class, and she's in my biology class," and it was like, "Oh yeah, I know this person." So everybody was adding each other to their friends. When you went to Google Plus, it was like crickets. It's like, is any of my friends here? It's like going to a park. It's the best park in the world, but who cares if none of your friends are there, right? You're gonna go to the park with all your friends, even if it's a horrible park. If your friends is there, that's where you want to be. So it's about users, not technology. Technology is good and it's important, but users is really what's important, and that's our secret sauce. That's how we're gonna go and compete with Binance. and compete with Coinbase. Because while they are way ahead of us in technology, technology moves so fast. Like I said, I'm building the exchange and the platform for $50,000, whereas 2.5 years ago, it was going to cost me $150,000 just for the exchange, and I had to pay them a commission for every single transaction. That's more expensive by far than $150,000. The every commission on every single trade. So if I make $1 billion, they're making 100 million, or 10 million, whatever it accounts to. So I didn't care about the 150. I cared about the commission they was charging me on every single trade. I'm building it now, and I own it outright without having to pay anybody any commission fees. Which actually, if we got time still, if you guys still.
So you're saying Coins for College is only going to be available on your exchange, or is it still going to be available through Bitcoin? Is it still going to be available through all the ones as well?
Yeah, we want to make it everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. But it's Coinbase, Crypto.com, they will only allow you to be on their exchange when you're doing a certain amount of volume.
Gotcha.
So by having our own exchange, it gives us more exposure, and it helps us get to that place of value much faster.
Gotcha.
So that we could be on Coinbase, Crypto.com, Binance. Well, Binance lets everybody on. But yeah, so yeah, you want to bring your own users, and that's the whole point. You want your own users. By having users are everything, and that's what we're going after. We're going after users so that we could have our own exchange, so that we could offer stuff, coins like Tuition Coin, to our users, and then whatever else we wanted to offer to them. So and so the race is for users. The race is for users. And so everything we've built is geared towards getting users, lots and lots of users. Whereas I feel like Coinbase, using as an example, their technology it's through the roof. I mean, they're amazing. They are, right? They're definitely the leader in the industry, technology-wise. If you want to have a good cryptocurrency experience, you go to Coinbase, without a doubt. Everyone knows that. But like I said, you could have the best park in the world, but if your friends are not there, who cares? So
That's the one I did the commercial for. Coinbase.
Oh,
Yeah.
You did a commercial for them?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I sent it to you.
Oh, that's awesome.
There, I'll try to find it, but
Oh wow.
and I didn't really know anything about Coinbase.
Oh wow. I got it. I was at their
remember seeing it.
when they opened their new office. Have you been to their new office?
No.
Okay. I was there when they launched their grand opening for the new office.
Cool.
now you went there for make connections?
Yeah, I mean, the company STS Academy, nonprofit, they are associated with another organization that it was invite only, and they had got like 10 invites, and so the guy knew that I was like big into cryptocurrency, so he said, "Hey, you know about this place called Coinbase?" Of course. He said, "You want to go to the grand opening?" Yeah, you know. So, yeah, so.
I did a series of videos for them.
Oh wow,
They're
that's
really
so
dumb.
interesting.
They're really
I have a confession to make. I came across the app Coinbase, and now I feel like a cryptocurrency genius.
like these little internet ads.
Oh wow, that's awesome, man.
Let me put this one too. Oh.
You hear that? That's Coinbase letting me know the BTC price for the day. Looks like it's up.
So dumb. I didn't even know what BTC was. I should have said Bitcoin, but they still used it.
Wow, man. So now you can do some commercials for Coins for College, man.
Yeah.
We'll pay you in tuition coins.
Yeah, funny.
Oh wow, that's pretty awesome, man. Wow.
Cool.